I want to experiment with making a wooden ring using my pantograph and my router, and I figure a 19mm hole would be good because that fits fairly nicely on this finger, and I figure 3mm wide on here just so that it's not too fragile. And I want to use this router bit. It's 5/16 or about 7.9mm, so I need to sweep out a slightly smaller circle with the router on the inside and a larger one on the outside, and that works out to 11mm inside and 33mm on the outside, radii of 5.5 and 16.5mm, but I'm going to set my pantograph to 3 times reduction, so I need 16.5mm and 49mm, and I made this thing here. It pivots on the nail like so, and I've got my 2 holes for the follower. Here's my pantograph set to 3:1 reduction, which is with this hole here and this hole here. Very important that these two pieces stay parallel. You'd be surprised how many people set this up wrong and email me about it, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Here's the circle sweeping thingy. Pivots on a nail right here, and I can make sure that I don't get too far off the workpiece so that my ring will be entirely on the workpiece. Looks vaguely ring-like already. So here it is. It's got a slight taper on the one side because the pantograph doesn't move straight up and down. It tilts, but seems to fit, though it's awfully clunky, so I think I'll make the sides a little bit thinner on that. And I'm also going to use some fancy scrap of exotic hardwood, which will hopefully be a bit stronger. So here's my second iteration, and it fits a bit snug, but I still need to round that. Next question is, how strong is it? So I'm just going to try to crush it in my fingers. Oh man, that's hard. There we go. That's actually surprisingly hard to break. Next I want to put a bevel on the outside edges using my strip sander, but this is really hard to get it consistent. So I made a tool using my pantograph, of course. So that came out nice, but I also want to put a bevel on the inside edges, and that's trickier, so I had to think about that for a bit, and I came up with this jig. It's a larger hole, then a smaller hole, and then a dowel in the end, and then I cut that out in the bandsaw, cut some slots in it, and I had to thin this a bit so that these fingers would be a bit more springy, and the ring fits in here. And to tighten that up, I need to put a rubber band around everything. So it's pretty cool how smooth you can get this exotic hardwood just by polishing it without any varnish on it. And this one has got some varnish on it. And this is the first one I made, and this one I cut a little bit too thin because this one cracked, which is how I was able to get the other ring around it.